Alright guys, welcome back to Death from Above 40k. It's battle report time again. We've got Necrons taking on Blood Angels. We've got two new lists. Both are updated new codexes, so it's going to be good. We've got Brad here coming to play. Say g'day, Brad.
G'day.
He's going to be running the Necrons, which he's put this list together. And I'm going to be running the Blood Angels. Now, I've got a whole new way the Blood Angels are going now, so I'll run you through it. So, with the new codex, I've gone ahead and made Blood Angel Death Company characters and all sorts of jazz. So this is a very infantry heavy / Death Company list. So let's go through it. So we'll start with the HQs. We've got two of. So we've got over here Death Company Captain with Jump Pack, Infernus Pistol, and he's got the relic, the Teeth of Terror. Then next to him we've got a Death Company Lieutenant Jump Pack, and he's got two Lightning Claws. So they're the two HQs. Troops, we've got a 5-man Assault Intercessor Squad, Thunderhammer on the Sergeant. Then we've got 1, 2, 3 5-man Intercessor Squads with Auto Bolt Rifles and Power Fists on the Sergeants. For the Elites, we've got pretty heavy slots here. So we've got 1 5-man unit of Death Company with Power Axes and Bolt Pistols. 1 5-man unit Death Company with Chainswords and Hand Flamers. And I'll make an apology here because these ones are still being painted, but we've got another 5-man unit. They've all got Bolt Pistols, 4 have Chainswords, and 1 has a Power Fist. Then behind here, we've got a Sanguinary Ancient. It's going to be taking the Wrath of Baal relics. I'll pay another command point for that one. It's actually going to be the Warlord in this army as well. So I'm going to be running him as the Warlord. And he's going to have Master Artisan. And that's just going to make his sword Master Crafted. So it'll be a damage 3 sword. Over here we also have a Primaris Apothecary. So just straightforward. And then in the fast attack slot, we've got 1, 2, 3 attack bikes. So hopefully, for those that don't know, the relic here for the Sanguinary Ancient allows Jump Pack Infantry to add 2 to their movement and their advances. So it's going to get them moving. So all these Death Company, as you can see, the plan is everyone's jump packed up. They're going to be flying across the board. So that's my plan today. Alright, so that's the Blood Angels. Then we've got over here the Necrons. Brad's running them as Mephrit. So in the list, he's got, we got Catacomb Command Barge. Now you said this is your Warlord, Brad?
Yes.
What was the relic he had?
The Void Reaper, so he's got a War Scythe with the Void Reaper.
So that's just a better War Scythe, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, alright. And what's his Warlord trait?
Merciless Tyrant, so it's +1 to strength and 1 attack.
So +1 to strength and an extra attack. So he's a bit of a combat monster.
Yeah.
Alright, and then, is this guy a HQ?
No, he's just an elite.
Alright, we'll come back to that. So this is obviously a patrol detachment. So he's got 1, 2 10-man units of Immortals with the Gorse weapons. Then up front he's got a 10-man unit of Lich Guard. Then as you can see he's got a Monolith. And then today he's running this as the Nightbringer. So we've got the Nightbringer model, but we're waiting for an updated one and we're working on painting it and stuff. So Brad substituted in this guy today to be the Nightbringer. So I thought it is a C10, so that's appropriate. Well, how many points did you say he was?
He's 375.
So he's apparently like nightmare fuel out of your codex.
Yes.
So Brad reckons that this Nightbringer character is pretty good. He's got sort of a bit of an assaulty / fire support army coming up against the Blood Angels. So that's 1,500 points apiece. I'll be coming in with 11 command points, and Brad will be coming in with 11 command points. So we'll roll up a mission and we'll get back to yous and we'll throw down. Alright guys. Alright guys, we've rolled up a mission, and the mission we've rolled up is Retrieval Mission. So in this mission there is 6 objectives. So on my side there's 1 under these guys, there's 1 under these guys, and then over to the center there's 1 on this side. If we come across, there's 1 on this side, and then over here there's 1 under that unit of Mortals, and there's 1 under that unit of Mortals. So lots of objectives in this match. Scoring them, so you get 5 victory points for holding one, you get an additional 5 victory points for holding 1 or more, and then you get an additional 5 victory points if you hold more than your opponent. Secondaries for this mission. So we've gone a bit fluff-wise. We've both chosen all ones from our respective codexes. So for myself, I've chosen Blade of Sanguinius. So that pretty much means I take a character, select a challenge. I get 5 points if the character... So he has to accept with one of his characters. I get 5 points if that character dies. Then I get an additional 5 points if it dies by melee attacks. And I get an additional 5 if it dies by the person who issued the challenge. The next one is Fury of the Lost. So I get 3 victory points each time I kill an enemy unit with a Death Company unit. So like it's just 3 for the turn. But if something dies at the hands of Death Company, I get 3 points. And then the last one is Relentless Assault. So if I have more units from my army in Brad's deployment zone than he has in my deployment zone, I get 4 points. Now, Brad's chose Code of Combat. What's that one do, mate?
So for every noble unit that destroys a unit, I gain 3 points.
For a turn, so you get 3 points for the turn if you... Yep, so what's a noble unit?
So the noble unit is the Overlord and the Leech Guard. Those are my noble units.
Right, so they're aiming to kill things to get points, and then you've got Purge the Vermin.
Purge the Vermin, so for every quarter you are not in at the end of a turn, I gain 2 points.
Alright, so that's a good one. And then the last one is Treasures of the Aeons, which, what's that do, mate?
So you get to select 3 objectives. For each objective I can hold of those objectives, I gain points increasingly up more objectives I hold.
So you get extra points for holding the one. So I'm going to choose, just so we all know, this one of mine, this one of mine, and then I'm going to choose this one here. Alright, let's go over the deployment for the Blood Angels. So, on this side, 3 attack bikes, Intercessor Squad in front. Over here on this objective, Intercessor Squad on the objective. Then in the middle here, we've got behind here, we've got the banner, and we've got a 5-man Death Company unit. Then if we come around the front here, another 5 Death Company unit, another 5-man Death Company unit, the 2 Death Company characters up here. So they're all within range of the banner to fly across the battlefield straight down the centre here. If we come over here, we've got another 5-man unit on this objective. Then in here, ready to charge over to this objective here, we've got a 5-man Assault Intercessor Squad supported by an Apothecary to help keep them alive. Alright, so that's the Blood Angels deployment. Come around here. From this angle too, it looks much cooler. Look at all that Death Company ready to just rain across the battlefield. Alright, so Brad's got Immortals on an objective here, Immortals on an objective here, big Lich Guard blob at the front, and then he's got the Nightbringer. Yep, Catacomb Command Barge, and he started with this on the battlefield. So, pretty straightforward setup, a lot less models. We'll roll to see who goes first. Give me your dice, Brad. Let's go. Oh, that's a 6. You've rolled 4. That's Blood Angels are going first. Uh-oh, SpaghettiOs. Alright, guys. It's going to be Blood Angels first turn. We'll get back to you when these Death Company rain death from above. It's just the channel's name. It's a beautiful thing. Death from above, Brad. You're about to feel it, baby. Alright, here we go. Alright, guys. End of Blood Angel turn 1. And it's full throttle. There is no messing around here. We go straight into it. Death from above, like as you can see here. Yes. Yes, it is. Alright, so movement. Starting over here. This unit ran forward. This unit ran from over here to here. All these melters moved around here to try and line up that bloody monolith. All the stuff that was in here moved with its 14-inch movement. The front units were pretty much just behind this barricade here. These units are a bit further back, as you can see where they are now. These guys stayed on this unit, and these guys ran up to here to this objective with the Apothecary. So shooting wise, the multi-melters all shot into the monolith and only took 2 wounds off it with 6 multi-melter shots. Bugger. And then the small arms fire from here, here and here, shot into here and killed 3 of these Immortals. I don't even think they did shoot. Don't think they shot at anything. They didn't shoot anything. They were out of range. some hand flamers went into the Lich Guard and whatnot. So, combat. So, first things first, in the command phase, the banner gave +1 to hit on these axe guys. Then they made it into combat here. Now, because he gave him +1 to hit and the captain and the lieutenant are there, they were hitting on 2s, rerolling 1s, and wounding on 2s, rerolling 1s. So power axes with the buff from this banner and having a Louis and a captain around, pretty brutal. We only ended up killing 4 of them. I killed 8 of them, but then 4 of them got back up due to reanimation. So we nearly wiped out the entire squad because we did 18 wounds. So it was 18 hits, 18 wounds. Coming over here, this captain used his death vision on the deck of the Vengeful Spirit, I think it's called, which gives him an extra attack for every 5 models in range, and he had 20 in range. So on the charge with the Teeth of Terror, he had his normal 4 attacks, +3 for the Teeth of Terror, then he had +2 for charging because he's Death Company, and he had an extra 4 attacks, so he had 13 attacks. He actually wiped out 5 Lich Guard on his own, but then 3 came back, and then he fought back against this unit with half of the squad, and they killed a couple of these guys. They fought back and didn't really do anything. Then he attacked my lieutenant with the other guys, and I used his one, which is the Grace of the Angel, which gave him a 3-up in Bond, so he only took 1 wound, and then he wiped out another couple of Lich Guards. So total 5 were wiped out. These guys were, and we've got them on the back foot here. So we're in their line. So we didn't kill a unit. Because I've got a unit in his deployment zone, being the lieutenant, I got 4 points at the end of this turn. So that's not bad to start off. So we're off to a start with 4 points. We don't get any points for holding all the other objectives, but that was about the size of it. So, banner's not bad. Turn 1 charges. Shit all up in your grill going crazy. Alright guys, we'll let Brad have his turn 1, and we'll get back to you in a minute. Alright guys, here we are at the end of Necron turn 1. Brad's turned it up a little bit. He's said, bugger you Adam, I'm shooting the shit out of your models and there's nothing you can do about it. So, let's go through it. Movement wise, these guys stayed here because they were in combat. These guys stayed here because they were in combat. These guys are all up in this guy's grill. These guys move forward, and as you can see the monoliths over here punching things in the face. Shooting wise, these guys shot into here and killed 3 of them. The monolith split fire, so it's got rapid fire in these, so it had 24 gore shots. So it split fire into 2 of the bikes and took 2 bikes down to 1 wound, and then he used his big cannon on top to shoot this bike and failed all the hits. But then he charged in and ate one of the bikes in combat. So, go monolith. Think and fight in combat, it's actually quite scary. The other thing too is actually we should go over the Cetan's powers. So, it did 17 mortal wounds with its powers. So it did 1 big blob of 9. What was the first one called?
Cosmic Fire.
Cosmic Fire, which every unit within 9 on a 4-up took D3 mortal wounds. So units everywhere were just taking D3 mortal wounds. And what was the second one you used?
Gaze of Death.
Gaze of Death. And that done... Is that the 2-up one?
No, that's the one. That's the Nightbringer's one. So it does 3D mortal wounds onto them if it hits.
Yeah, so he did that, and then you paid a command point to do another one.
Yes.
So I saved about, with like shrugs, or feel no pains, whatever you want to call them, I saved about 7 of those 17 mortal wounds, but he did about 10. So two wound models. There was Death Company guys and characters copping wounds all over the shop. So that guy is a bit brutal. So then combat-wise, these guys killed a few more of these. They fought back and did a wound. These guys killed a heap of Lich Guard, and then he moved these guys over to fight these guys, releasing these 2 from combat. I don't know if that was a good or bad mistake on Brad's behalf. We're going to find out. These guys attacked in here and killed this unit pretty brutally down to last guy, but with the leadership and the banner, he's still there. That was about it for combat, wasn't it? Oh, over here, sorry. The Cetan single-handedly just slapped the crap out of the Death Company unit there, killed all of them. And then there was a combat between these guys. So how this went down is he took this guy smacked in him, took him down to 1 wound. He was alive. Then he hit back and he took 6 wounds off the command barge because he's got a mastercrafted weapon which is flat 3 damage. And then as the C-Tam was killing guys here, because they were all in combat, one of the chainswords got through and took another wound off him. So it was, yeah. So Brad hasn't scored any points for his first turn, but he's definitely hit back and killed a heap of models. But we'll get on with Blood Angel's turn 2 and see if we can't show him what we're all about with these 2 new character models that are still fresh out the gate. So we'll get back to you in a minute, guys. Alright guys, end of Blood Angel's turn 2. This is a brutal game for being in turn 2. So much stuff is just carved up, like just fucking brutal. Anyway, let's go through what happened. So movement wise, over here, these guys, so that guy backed out of combat with the monolith and this guy just drove around here. They support fired into here, killed a couple of these guys but nothing to write home about. The guys that were here that were 2 moved over here and this guy ran, and at the end of the movement phase he healed one of them. Now these guys joined in and killed the Catacomb Command Barge. So that died. It died at the hands of this guy too, which was a Death Company model. So I got points for that. This thing, oh Jesus Christ. I shot pretty much the entire arm into it. We got the 3 wounds off in the shooting phase. For those that don't know, the Nightbringer can only lose, is it 3 wounds per round?
Per phase. Per phase,
yeah. So we got 3 off him, and then because he lost 3 in the last round, we only had to get 3 more off him. But we only got 2 more off him, so he's on 1 wound. So I hit him like a million times with this guy. And then the guy that was here, what's his name? My Sanguinary Ancient was in combat here, but then obviously when these guys killed the command, when he killed the command barge, he was able to consolidate and hit. So between the 2 of them, they could not finish him off, and then he finished off my banner guy. So just brutal stuff there. Over here, Death Company didn't do anything here, and then they were finished off. Should probably get rid of that pink dice there, eh? And then over here, the Assault Intercessors ran over here and joined in and just absolutely slaughtered everything that was there. So at the end of my turn, points-wise, I got 15 points because I was on 3 objectives at the start of my turn and more than Brad. Then I got more points for having more enemy units in his than he has in mine. And then I got points for the Death Company killing a unit. We also issued the challenge here with this guy, and Brad accepted it. So if I can somehow manage to stay alive and kill this guy, I'll score 15 victory points if he hacks his head off. Now Brad's going to stay in combat with him, he reckons, because he can't use his C-Tam powers if he backs out. So he has to stay in there and melt my face with C-Tam powers. It's not going to be good. It's going to be brutal. But at the end of Blood Angel's turn 2, we're on 26 points. There's just absolute carnage going on. I'm being chased by a monolith. This is crazy. Yeah, so we'll let Brad have his turn 2, yeah. And I just don't like this guy. Alright guys, we'll be back in a minute. Alright guys, end of Necron turn 2. And it is just a... This game is just brutal, and more brutal. So let's go through what happened. So, points wise, he did have a troops choice on here at start, so he did get 5 points for that. And then game wise, in my turn, these guys killed Death Company, which give him 3 points. And this turn they killed the other little bit of Death Company, which gave him another. So he got 6 total for that. And then this table cord was clear, so he got 2 for that. So he's on a total of 13 points. However, because he charged some units and had to attack with them first, I interrupted here and I managed to kill the big guy. So I actually got the 15 points for it because I killed him with the captain, but then exploded, and as you can see, everything in his bloody killed or wounded. It's just a C-Tan, dead. Wounds, guys died. These guys shot over into the guys that were here, killed some. This moved around. It managed to shoot one bike with... Oh, you want to focus there, mate? It managed to kill both bikes with its guns, and then kill a few here, and then charge in and kill it down to 1. But he didn't kill this Space Marine, and this Space Marine is just steadily standing in front of it like, you shall not pass. He's probably gonna pass at some point though, because this, I'm convinced now, the monoliths, it's pretty badass, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
It's just pumping out fire and just, yeah, it's doing all the work.
Charge.
And it can charge, and it's actually brutal in combat. So there's not actually a lot of models left. I've got, because these guys aren't in combat, because he only wanted to kill the Death Company, and he's like, I don't want to fight them. He's got these guys. So you got that, that's all you got, isn't it? That. Yeah. And I've only got guys over here, a couple of scattered remains around the joint. Yeah, so, alright, we'll see what happens, and we'll get back to you at the end of Blood Angels turn 3. So we're going to turn our power weapons on this turn. This is when it's going to get real brutal. Ring, 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 ring. Alright guys, end of Blood Angel turn 3. There's been some carnage and some things happen here. Let's go through what happened. So, this unit was here, holding this objective. I ran them over here to sit on this objective, because this thing is just obliterating everything, and I don't know if a unit like that can stand around shooting. So, it was a bit cowardly, but Jesus, just help me. This guy ran from here to here, and then this guy landed in front of him, so he healed him. Then he charged into here, and he killed these guys down to 2. They attacked back and did nothing. These guys just ran through the Lich Guard, like absolutely obliterated them. So at the start of turn, I got the 15 points because I was holding multiple objectives. I still have more than Brad. I got 4 points for being in his deployment zone again. I reckon I've got that every round, so I actually don't mind that one for how fast the army moves. Death Company one, I didn't wipe out a unit, and as turn before, I obviously got the full 15 points for that heroic, what was it called? I don't know, challenging dudes and stuff. Blood Angel shit, mate. So at the end of his turn 3, I'm actually on 60 points total. And Brad's on 13, but he's going to go on and have his third turn, because it's quite funny just watching this thing just putter around, and if he gets a good line of sight, I'm pretty sure he could actually just blow chunks out of the rest of my list, and I don't know how I'm going to respond to it, so it's more a bit of a comical relief at this point. He can't win on points, but yeah, the other thing too is I had 2 Power Fist welding guys here, and I did 2 damage to it, so it's still on 22 wounds, so just, yeah. This is where the Bulldog would come in handy to start firing some las cannons, but it's not in this battle. Anyway, we'll let Brad have his turn 3, and we'll see what happens. We'll get back to you in a minute. Alright guys, end of Necrons turn 3, and Brad's done a valiant effort, but we just do not think it's enough. So, I'm on 60 points, and at the end of this turn, Brad is on 22 points. So, let's go through what he did. He backed out of combat here, and he split fire with the monolith. So he tried to shoot into the guy here, took this guy down to 1 wound, so he didn't do too bad there. Then he targeted the other shots at these guys, but I used transhuman physiology, so they only wound me on a 4 up, and he only managed to kill 1 of them. So, we've just done a bit of mass hammer. I can't kill this monolith with what I've got left on the table. We've did a bit of test rolling. But obviously, objective-wise, at the start of my next turn, I'm on all these again. And secondaries, I'm in his deployment zone, and I'm pretty sure this guy can single-handedly wipe these out, because we've done the mathematics for it. So that would leave me somewhere up around the 80 points mark, and we worked out that the rest of the game, Brad could get another 18 points, which would put him on 40 points. Yeah. So, it's going to be a Blood Angels victory. It was absolute slaughterfest. All that's left is these guys, a couple of guys here, and pretty much the monolith. This thing just humming around the battlefield. You got a man of the match, Brad?
Definitely the monolith, but just people.
It's a brutal. It's gone from like a no-show last edition to just an absolute menace this edition. So, yeah, I think that moving forward, this thing could probably nearly be in every list. It's sort of what we're saying, like knight, like it's up in, you know, like with knights and bane blades and shit like that. So, yeah, and it can take different weapon options now. So, anything else with your Necron list? It did pretty well. The C-Tam was real badass.
Yeah, that went a lot better than I thought. It did so many mortal wounds.
It did do mortal wounds. If anything, that's where it shines like a mother effer.
Well, against like this type of list where everything goes in so close, everything was in range.
Absolutely. Man of the match for me is going to be this guy, Mad Dog McGruffin. Single-handedly just smashed through units, supported units, and he finished off the C-Tan and got the points. And he died in glorious combat. So as a Death Company captain, there's nothing more that he could have asked for than to go in, destroy mass chunks of the enemy, and then peace out. I think he was single-handedly killed 700 points of Brad's army. So let him shine. Teeth of Terror, Melt Pistol, go away. Get into it. Honourable mention to old this guy as well. I'm adding more Death Company. So much more Death Company. All right, guys. Hopefully you've enjoyed this, and we'll get back to the drawing board. This list Brad put together was a lot tougher than his last Necron list. He did get what's that big model you bought? The Void Dragon?
The Void Dragon, yeah.
Yep, and some other bits and bobs, so I've got to paint that up, and yeah, we'll get back to yous in the next one. Stay safe out there.